With this first review in 2021, we are trying to answer the question if this Aer Lingus model follows the tradition that no Aer Lingus model is looking alike. So has Herpa managed to get the right colors on the model, and is it any good? We find out right after the drop. With that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A321NEO of Aer Lingus. At the front of the box we have the cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and at the top of the box we have the Aer Lingus branding. On the back side of the box we unfortunately have this dreadful box design of Herpa Wings that they introduced in 2020, and I hope that 2021 will bring us a new box design from Herpa Wings. And here she is, the Airbus A321NEO in the new livery of Aer Lingus. And this is already the second aircraft we find in this livery from Herpa Wings in Scale 500. The first one was an A320, where, however, I do believe that Herpa didn't quite manage to get the colors right. So have they done better in this case? Well, we will find out straight away, because we start off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer find the iconic Irish shamrock, or the branding of Aer Lingus. On top of the stabilizer we then also have the last two letters of the registration code. If we then quickly compare the colors to what we have on the A320 from Herpa Wings, well, I would say on the A320 it's a bit darker, here it's a bit brighter, and if I compare both of them to aircraft in real life, I would say the A321NEO is definitely much closer to what we have on the real aircraft. Then on the fuselage we also find the full registration code of the aircraft and the flag of the Republic of Ireland. On top of the fuselage we then have the addition of the SAT dome, which looks very nice, and at the very tail of the aircraft we also have a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. Then at the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we have the Aer Lingus branding once more. Underneath that we have the aircraft type specification. Another little detail that I like here quite a bit is the addition of another little shamrock on the cockpit door. Then underneath the cockpit windows we have the name of the aircraft, and that leads us to the cockpit section itself, which unfortunately is rather bare-boned. We have the cockpit windows and the window wipers printed on, and that's about it. Although underneath the nose we do also have the aircraft type specification once more. And from there we can then move on to the engine nacelles, which have been given this, well, what can we call it, blue-greenish coloring, and we have the silver leading edge, but that's all for printed details, a little bit underwhelming here as well. The physical detailing of the engines I think is overall nice. It also looks nice when we look into the engines from the front, where we can see the engine fan blades, but of course we still have the issue that the engines just are too big, which means that our ground clearance is ridiculously small, and this is already one of the better examples. But let's move on for now and let us take another quick look at the fuselage, where we above the wings have the addition of the emergency exits, which have been printed on. And that of course leads us straight to the wings, which we should also take a quick look at. And if we start off here with the top side, we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely. We have the markings for the emergency exit as well, and some different shades of grey for additional detailing. Overall I think that looks very nice. Also the underside of the wings looks really decent. Here we also find the full registration code of the aircraft once again. The whole thing is then topped off with these lovely winglets, again with the color scheme of Aer Lingus, and on the inner side the shamrock once more. And then we have the landing gear, and there isn't really much to say about it. I mean, it is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all the A320 family aircraft, except the A318. It's okay for the main landing gear, I think that looks decent. The front landing gear, in my opinion, is too wide, and it just looked much better in earlier versions. But yeah, we get what we are used to from Herpa in this case. And then last but not least, we also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here in the back side of the aircraft, and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A321NEO in the new livery of Aer Lingus in scale 1 to 500 by Herpa Wings. And what can we say about this aircraft model? I mean, overall I think the model is let down by the usual issues from Herpa Wings with all A320NEO family aircraft. So we have a bad ground clearance, we have the at best mediocre landing gear, and we have a very bad nose shape of the mold. I really don't like how that looks. But when we've mentioned all that, we also have to mention that Herpa has done improvements when it comes to the color scheme. They have gotten much closer to what the colors should look like in real life, which of course is great news. But ultimately the question remains, is this aircraft worth having in one's collection? If you can live with all the issues that I have mentioned, I would say sure, why not, but it is really at best a mediocre aircraft model from Herpa Wings, so there are definitely other aircraft models out there that would be deserving of your attention. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe, that would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, hope to see you soon again, I'm checking out, and bye.